motion going on as well. You've also got the NFL Combine that's underway. And I don't know, I haven't just sat down and double-checked every, person who's competing in what events and cross-checked every single Big 12 school and who's involved as far as the Combine invites and all of that goes. But Oklahoma was set to have the most from the Big 12 with 7, Cincinnati 6, at the Combine. Texas sent 5 guys. Iowa State, Kansas State both sent 4 apiece. BYU sent 3. Baylor, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, West Virginia also sent 2 apiece. And I put that list together a little while ago, so I didn't have Houston or UCF on there. And I don't know if they actually ended up having any official players at the Combine or not. So I may have missed that, and you could please correct me if I'm wrong.
Sometimes that can be a good thing because it means you have everybody coming back.
Yeah, so I don't know if that remained correct or not, but I know at the time they had not had anybody officially. So they would be the only 2 that didn't have at least one person there. But like I said, that may be different now, so do correct me. But pretty healthy for an Oklahoma team that wasn't great considering their normal standard to send 7 guys to the Combine. So they might be losing talent in a good way in the eyes of the fans and even the coaching staff because they've obviously shed a lot of guys this offseason, but still losing talented players that the NFL clearly thinks are able to make an impact on the next level, guys like Marvin Mims and whatnot. But Cincinnati, that's also pretty healthy as well to have 6 guys there at the Combine.
Yeah, they've got some interesting dudes there. Ivan Pace is there, linebacker, really good player I guess he transferred in. Tyler Scott, wide receiver. I'm curious to see him. He's a guy who can really pick him up and put him down. But he was also someone, and it's interesting, the USFL had their futures draft last week. And some of the guys that are like Malik Cunningham got drafted by a USFL team. So if he doesn't make an NFL roster, he can go play. If he wants to play for the USFL, he can go there and play there. But Tyler Scott was one of those guys. And from what I've seen from him, I don't think the USFL is going to get that chance anytime soon.
Yeah.
Because I think he's athletic enough to where if he can – hold on as a 4th, 5th wide receiver and a special teamer for a little while, it might be a little time for him. So, Cincinnati's got I'm leaving somebody else out that I really do like from Cincinnati. They got a tight end that's not too bad. Josh White, I want to say, with a Y.
Sounds right, yeah.
W-H-Y-T-E. Yeah, there's a lot of guys from Cincy that I like in this draft.
Yeah, and definitely should have updated that list because Nathaniel Dell's obviously at the Combine for Houston. Yeah. I know UCF also has a guy as well. So I thought that probably had been outdated. But just giving you a look more so just there's few teams that got your 1 or 2 guys. I do think Dell will be a fascinating guy to track, though, for
Is Clayton
Houston.
Toon at the Combine?
I'll have to double check.
I thought I saw he's like does he have one of those COVID years?
No, he's
at the Combine.
Yeah, he's in the draft.
Okay, good. Gervarius Owens, Tank Dell, Clayton Toon. So Houston ended up with 3 guys. Yeah. So, sorry I didn't have that right at the beginning. But was more so just fascinated by the fact that Oklahoma, even after a down year, ends up still with the most guys there talent-wise. And also a very healthy number from Cincy. I think Texas is set to have one of their better drafts than they've had in a while. I mean, certainly at the top with Bijan. He's going to be a first-round pick. And it's been a little while.
Nobody last year.
Yeah,
right?
That's happened a couple times in the last decade.
And they'll have what's that lineman, Coburn or what? I'm not sure. A couple of the guys.
Coburn and Moro Ojomo, we'll see how they do, but those guys will both be in the draft. Overshone will be probably somewhere in the 3rd to 5th round, you would think, depending on how this all works out. He's a really good player.
Texas is going to get more money in football revenue next year because they won't all have all the tape that he used to put around his hands.
Exactly.
Arms and legs.
But someone who's really interesting to me from Texas is Roschon Johnson, because if you look at the way Roschon plays, there are a couple teams in the NFL that run systems that would be great for him.
Let me tell you something, and I know Bijan. I love the young man based on meeting him and also interviewing him and watching him. But Roschon Johnson's one of those that you might end up seeing him play a long time.
Well, I mean, he's
physical.
He's physical. He's
and
big.
And that also might be against him.
Okay, and look, so let's just say, because now there's a proliferation of teams running the Shanahan offense again, because it may not be San Francisco this year for Roschon Johnson, although certainly have a chance to get him. But say Houston got him to go along with Dameon Pierce, or Miami got him. All their guys are free agents right now, although I would think that at least one of them, Mostert or Wilson, will come back. But You don't think in a zone system, like as big and like
that's
good
what,
straight line runner that he
like
is, that he would be really
Mike
good?
Shanahan.
Yeah, exactly.
That former Denver and Washington. Yeah.
I'm kicking myself because of the misfire on Houston and UCF, and I left out the team with the most there, TCU.
Yeah.
We got 9 players at the Combine. I said Oklahoma first. I'm sorry about that. Just copy and pasting didn't work very well. I know.
Yeah, I know.
Scrap the segment, start it all over.
The replay is going to eat you alive.
Here we go. Well, TCU 9 players at the Combine.
That's impressive.
That's super impressive. I mean, that's they might not ever replicate that. I mean, quite frankly, that's like an all-timer of a list. TCU with 9, Oklahoma 7. That's all right. Cincinnati 6, as I said. Texas 5, K-State, Iowa State, both with 4. Houston, BYU with 3. West Virginia, Texas Tech, Baylor, Kansas, Oklahoma State all have 2. And UCF with the 1. So that is the clarified list. I apologize for not starting with that, but a little problem in the transfer here. So
TCU, obviously people are going to talk about Quentin.
They're going to be all over the 7 rounds.
But they're going to be all over it because of some of their guys. But Kendrick Miller should go somewhere in the middle, you would think. Steve Avila, I think, has a good chance to go in the second round, maybe later in the second round, probably gone by the third. No doubt about that on Steve Avila. And then who else did really popping up there?
You said Quentin Johnston, right?
Yeah, he's going to the top 15, if not top 7.
Didn't they have a defensive back that was maybe a transfer who was very, very good? I'm not sure, again, about eligibility. I've lost control of all that with all the COVID and all that stuff.
No.
I wonder where Travius Hodges-Tomlinson will go because of his again, no matter how much of a just damn good football player he is, there will be some that still look at his size, just like they did coming out of high school, just like they will coming out of college. I just wonder where he might fit and where he goes. Will he be a third-day guy, like somewhere between rounds 4 and 7, or is he going to go high because he's just a baller? I'm not sure.
I understand that we all know that he's a baller, but height still does matter. Like, I know that the hip thing to do is to say that, like, it doesn't, or, like, it's all about heart. And, like, yes, that does apply in some ways in certain situations. But I do think there is, like, an element of you do have to have some amount of size that fits. And so I don't know how they view him. I don't know how that's, counteracted by the athleticism and the turnover ability and all of that stuff. But I think that because of the height question, at least, certainly you're going to probably be waiting until anywhere ranging, I guess, day 2 to day 3. But they have, I don't know the other defensive back you're referencing, but they had Max Duggan, Kendry Miller, Darius Davis, Quentin Johnston, Steve Avila, Alan Ali, Dylan Horton, D. Winters, Travius. So he was the only member of that secondary. They had a very veteran-laden secondary, though, this past year. So that is the lineup. TCU with 9 players at the Combine. I didn't make mention of it on Tuesday.